Welcome back here. Happy Friday once again. Happy Friday, everybody. Thanks for sticking around here today. My name is Joseph. If you're just sitting down here for the first time today, welcome to our trade room. I'm going to put some contact information up here in the lower right-hand corner. We had a remarkable day again today. We've had a huge week, a huge month of May, and we kicked off the month of June today with another big day of, well, not all winning trades. But yeah, you can see there's a couple 60-tick winners, 50-tick winners. There's a 90-tick winner on the euro today, all of which called in real time. And of course, our members are trained on how to trade these according to their plan. Right now, every one of my members has a trading plan in front of them. They're not shadow trading. They're trained on their own trading plan. Okay, remember, shadow trading is inherently dangerous, so please be careful out there if you're shadow trading. Our members are given a specific, methodical, and very simple trading plan to follow. Do this, don't do that. Look for this, don't use that. Very specific instructions are needed for every new trader. Just like if I gave you a very, vague description of maybe a recipe for a birthday cake, you may not be able to make a very good birthday cake. But if I gave you a very specific recipe for a birthday cake, right? Use 1 cup of this and 1 dash of that and put on 350, right? If I give you very specific instructions, then you don't really need to be a professional chef to make a great birthday cake. So the same analogy applies to day trading. As a new trader, I need to give you that specific recipe for success so that you know exactly what to do. 7:30 a.m., do this. 8 o'clock, do that. Look for this pattern here, buy those lows there, sell those highs here. Okay? Very specific. There are a lot of different educational resources online these days. One of the reasons why I'm such a stickler at specifics is because nobody else online seems to care about specifics. Most educational resources online say, oh, you could do this, you could do that, here's an idea for this, here's an idea for that. How about you're the professional? Why don't you tell me what to do? Okay, if you're my student, my responsibility is to train you properly. These vague descriptions, these vague ideas are not going to help a new trader. So one of the things I'm very adamant about with my members is to make sure that every single one of my members has a very specific and very simple plan of attack. That way when you come in every day, as I always say in training, you almost don't need to think. If you can follow a simple checklist, follow a simple worksheet, you don't need to think. Just show up, follow the plan. So today we're following our plan. And the plan starts us out with the news this morning, right? Just like always, very specific instructions. Do this first, do this last. Do what first? Check your news. 3 things about the news. What happened overnight, what's happening today, and what's happening tomorrow. Now, what happened overnight, we had a lot of news that came out, a lot of news that gave us a bearish market sentiment. The news this morning, non-farm payrolls. News this morning, personal income, construction spending, ISM manufacturing index. And what's happening tomorrow? Tomorrow's Saturday. It's the weekend. So we take what happened overnight, what happens today, what happens tomorrow, and we formulate a plan. The bearish sentiment overnight tells me it's likely to bleed over into the U.S. session. So the first clue we got today was we had news overnight, sentiment is bearish. We were joking around this morning at 7:30 this morning with members saying that you probably could just grab the golf clubs and on the way out the door just hit short. We kind of joked around by saying it's so obviously bearish right now, you might be able to get away with the whole, just hit the sell button and go away until the end of the morning. Now, obviously, we're going to wait for the pattern, but that was the first thing we saw this morning, is that it was easy to see we should be short. First clue was bearish market sentiment. Second clue was it's a Friday. It's a non-farm payroll Friday. What that tells me is I got to be on my best behavior, and I better watch the clock closely. If I don't watch the clock closely, I run the risk of trading too close to the news or too close to the end of the morning. So we knew this morning that with news at 10 o'clock, 10:30 was really going to be our line in the sand. We speculated this morning to say that 10:30 a.m. would probably be when we would see our last decent, consistent market personality. And we also know you got to have a really good reason on any Friday to take a trade after 11 o'clock. If you're trading after 11 o'clock on a Friday, you got to have a really good reason for it. Okay, it's really challenging as you go into the weekend here. So first couple clues, bearish sentiment, watch the clock, and obviously be ready to sell short. Second clue was the dollar index. Now the dollar index, I'm not going to show you a live chart right now. If I show you a live chart, you'll think I'm lying to you. Let's go back to your blog, sidewaysmarkets.com. The dollar index chart, again, I'm not going to use a real-time chart. Let's see if we posted at 7:30 this morning. At 7:30 this morning, this is what we saw. And at 7:30, we saw that we had the dollar with a bull